Welcome to the YouTube channel. It's your favorite content creator, King Anan. And on this channel, I create content on how to bridge the gap between continental Africans and the African diaspora all over the world, specifically African Americans, because I live in the USA since the age of 12. And with my time living here in America, I've recognized that Black people all over the world have more in common than the differences that we initially thought that we had in the past. So I'm creating this content as a way to help bridge that gap. Okay, so having said that, in this video, I'm going to be going over something pretty awesome that happened yesterday. I was able to connect with a gentleman by the name of Wode Maya. He's the gentleman that's in, if you're looking at the screen, in the image next to me. Wode Maya is a young man from Ghana, which is where I'm from. Flag right there with a black star in the center. Yes, so he's from Ghana, and this young man, he actually is one of Africa's top content creators. At this moment, he has about 680,000 subscribers on the way to 700K. And he's on a mission to get to 1 million subscribers by the end of this year, by the end of 2021. So what does that mean? With that many subscribers, he's gonna be able to. Well, he's actually had a lot of influence on many people, many content creators, and he's influenced and inspired other content creators in Africa to start making videos and showing positive images of Africa. Because historically, as you all probably know, that Africa has been shown in a very negative light for a long time. So a little bit about him: he actually lived in China some years ago. He went to China to study aeronautical engineering, and what he found out was that some of the students that he associated with, the Chinese students, didn't know anything about Africa at all. You know, they also thought that Africa was the dark continent. Africa didn't have any value. You know, it was just people living, the, I guess, the traditional way. You know, might be living in huts and all kind of negative images about Africa that you've heard of in the past. So he decided to start creating content and start a platform of sharing the positive side of Africa to the world. So his platform is Africa to the world, and that's basically his mission. So currently, as I mentioned earlier, he has 680,000 subscribers. And yesterday, I was on a live stream with him that he did. At one point on the live stream, there were close to 2,000 people, probably more, 2,500 or more on this live stream. And the topic of the live stream, as you can see right here, is changing the narrative of Africa really worth it? Okay, so I jumped on a live stream. I had to get my little piece in because that's what my content is about. It's about continental Africans and the diaspora. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play what I said, and then I'll go ahead and discuss it a little further after this. Okay. To the topic, do we need to change the narrative of Africa? Let me start with a quote by a noted historian, noted African-American historian. He says, "What we do for ourselves depends on what we think of ourselves. What we think of ourselves depends on what we know of ourselves. And what we know of ourselves depends on what we have been told about ourselves." What does that mean? Everything that we've learned in Africa, 90% of it, I would say, starting from our youth, has been told by other people, has been told by Europeans, probably Americans. So we don't think that much of ourselves. A lot of African youths, and even for me, myself, I lived in Ghana until the age of 12 when I came to the United States. And I had no idea of kings and queens in the history of Africa. And a lot of us don't. A lot of adults, the average, probably, I don't mean to single out women, but the average market women, probably in Makala Market in Accra, does not know that much about ancient African history, Egypt, and Mansa Musa, that he was the richest man of all time in world history. We don't know these things. So what does that say about us? Our self-image is very poor. the self-image of most Africans is very, very poor. So for me, it starts with the youth. It starts with educating the youth and changing our education system. Is that going to be easy? No. None of the stuff that you're doing, none of the things that other YouTubers are doing in changing the narrative of Africa is easy, but it's going to be worth it. It's not going to be easy to change anything in Africa, but it's going to be worth it. Anything that you're blessed to be doing or anything that I would be able to do in the future in Africa, in Ghana, it's not going to be for me. It's going to be for my children and their children. That's the way I look at it. So it's going to be a struggle for us to change anything in Africa. When it comes to Africa and changing, we're not going to be able to change the mindset of adults in Africa because the mind is already set. When you get to a certain age, it's really difficult to change the way you think. Okay, there's a saying that a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. It's very, very difficult to change an adult, but it starts with the youth because from the age that you're born until you're about 7, that's when you build your mentality. That's when you because your whole environment influences you when you're very, very young. It influences you. I mean, look at the images of the things that we have in a place like Ghana. When you're out and about in the street, you see a Coca-Cola. When you go to the mall, you see a Gucci, you see a Fendi. Those things are not African. Or you see a Toyota, you see a Nissan, but we have Kantanka cars in Ghana, but we're not patronizing those things. We're not patronizing the things that are from us because we don't love ourselves. Everything starts with self-love. We don't appreciate the things that we have. We think that it's not beautiful enough, so we have to reach out to go to Europe, to go to the United States. I mean, I'm blessed enough that I've lived in this country for this long, for 30 years, but it's also changed my mentality and the way that I see things. So it starts with the youth. It really starts with the youth because the leaders in Africa, it's not their fault. It's not, the leaders are not the problem. I disagree. It's not the leaders. Our education system and where we start from, that's what the problem is. The leaders are just a manifestation of the education system and how they were educated. Okay, see, Wode Maya, there's universal laws that we're all governed by in this universe that we live in. There's a law of gravity, there's a law of polarity, there's a law of cause and effect. The education system is the cause and the leaders are the effect of the education system. So if we're able to change where we start off, that's the only way that we're going to be able to possibly change Africa in the future. That's the only way, is if we change where we start from. Because our mindset, the environment in Africa is just a reflection of our mindset. That's the only difference between Africa and Europe and the United States, is that people have two completely different mindsets. We think way different over here in America and in Africa. So that's some of the things that I think I talk about on my channel, my YouTube channel, King Anan Ghana, is that, and the purpose of my channel is bridging the gap between continental Africans and the African American diaspora, because we need to change the way that we look at Africa from here and across the world. That's the only way that we can change Africa is if we link the diaspora and the and continental Africans. And in regard to the books, what the other brother said, reading is very, very important. There's a saying here in America. I don't know if you ever heard the Wode, but they said, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. That's what they say, because most of us brothers, we don't read. I mean, I read. I love to read. I've loved to read ever since I was a child. So we have to read, because knowledge is the only way that we can change our mind. So yeah, thank you for your time, Wode.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's something that's like I want you to tell us about your channel. Can I have the link or anything so that people can check it?
Sure, I'll shoot the link right now. But yeah, my channel is called King Anan Ghana, and the content I create is basically to bridge the gap between continental Africans and the African diaspora all over the world. And it was inspired on me growing up here in the United States from the age of 12 and, you know, growing up and being influenced by African-American culture and also being from Ghana. So that's the inspiration of my channel. Today, I uploaded a video. I had a conversation, an interview with a gentleman who is a native of Jamaica and who has been living in the United States for a long time. He's actually the CEO of a website called Atlanta Black Star, where he actually publicizes information, news, politics, entertainment, sports on from the Black perspective all over the world. So you guys can go ahead and check it out. But yeah, is the image. I mean, let me just make one more point, and then I'll let you move on to the next person. For example, in Africa, most of the presidents, the vehicles, the limousines that they use, they're all foreign vehicles. You know, the U.S. president used a Lincoln limousine. The French president used a Citroën. The Japanese president, they probably used some kind of a vehicle that was built in Japan, right? But African presidents, what are they using? All foreign vehicles, right, Wode? Until recently, I heard that Kantanka is making a limousine for Akufo-Addo.
I don't think he used it.
just recently. So yeah, these are some of the things. Is the image, you know, the things that we look at from our youth and how we grow up, it influences our thinking. So if we change the image, the things that the youth are being influenced by, they can grow up and have a different mentality, different mindset that can change the environment in Africa. And that's the only way we'll be able to move forward. If our mentality doesn't change, Africa will never change.
I just want to say, Kanana, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was it. That was my spiel yesterday, my soapbox. Yeah, so it all starts with the image, the self-image, how we perceive ourselves, how we look at ourselves. If we don't change our image and our mentality, the way we think, Africa is never going to change. It's going to stay the same. The foreigners are going to take advantage of our resources, and that will never change. Okay. The image or opinion that you have of yourself, it's going to determine how you interpret other people's reactions to you and significantly affect your success in everything that you're ever going to do. That's just the way it is, bottom line. See, historically, the leaders in Africa and, you know, some of these institutions like the World Bank, USAID, you know, all these foreign institutions that come to Africa and try to, you know, give us foreign aid for infrastructure, for food, vaccinations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They've all tried to change things outside of Africans, things outside of the people that exist in Africa. But Africa, really, the environment in Africa is just a result. It's just a result of the mentality, of the mindset. And, you know, that's what I said yesterday. It's the same as Europe, United States, or Asia, or even a place like Singapore. Is the result of the mentality, is a result of the way that people are thinking, the way people are strategizing different things. That's all it is. So in order to change Africa, we need to change our mindsets. And that's just my humble assessment of someone who lives outside of Africa, looking into Africa. Okay, there's a saying that you can't change the picture when you're in the frame. Okay, what does that mean? What I'm saying is that for someone who lives in Africa, you know, that might have obviously a completely different mentality than I do. It's hard for them to actually conceptualize how Africa might need to be changed because they're in the frame, if that makes sense to you. They're in the frame, so they can't change the picture. They can't change the image of Africa. See, it's all about results for me. That's the way I see it. It's all about the results that you have in your life that are existing in Africa. And we all know the results are not great overall. There's some success stories in Africa. As you know, my brother Wode Maya, he always pushes the success stories in Africa, business leaders that are doing great things. Those things exist. Okay. Africa is not poor because we have all the resources that Europeans and people all over the world have been coming to Africa for years and decades and hundreds of years. Those resources are there. So Africa is not poor, Africa is rich, but are we as Africans utilizing our own resources for the benefits of Africa? So for me, to try to change the results in Africa, meaning what's going on in the outside environment, without actually changing the mentality of Africans, continental Africans, that's just about as foolish as standing in the mirror, looking at your reflection in the mirror, and try to change what's going on inside the mirror without actually changing your physical appearance. It's never going to happen. But that's what we've been doing for years and years and decades. We've been trying to change the results outside without actually changing the mentality, without changing what's going on in our inner world. And that's what we need to work on. It all starts with the youth. It all starts with our education system. Our education system, I believe, needs an overhaul. We need an African-centered education system. So with that being said, I hope this made sense to you. Please go ahead and check out Wode Maya, his channel. It's WODE and then MAYA. Please check out the brother's channel. It's got a lot of great, amazing content of Africa. Make sure you subscribe to his channel if you enjoy. Share with a friend or family, because we need to support the brother. He's on a race to get to 700,000 and hopefully 1 million subscribers by the end of the year, so he can inspire so many other people out there. And then also leave a comment below if you agree with what I just said on this video, or even if you disagree with me. Just go ahead and leave a comment so I can engage with you and we can share information as well. Make sure you like this video. Please share it with somebody else, because sharing is caring. And please help me out, because I'm on a mission to get to 500 subscribers by the end of this month, by February 28th. I know we can do it. I know we can get to 500 subscribers. So please, please, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Before I go, I want to leave you with this one last thought. Not all Black people will stick together, but the ones who do will be the ones who will build the future. But with that being said, this is your favorite content creator, King Anan, and I'll catch you on the next video.